For those of you who don't know me, hi, I'm Greg. I'm the fifth Beatle. No, not really. I wish. But yeah, today we're going to be talking about, this is really for you. This is customer roundtables. These are relatively new. This is my first time hosting one, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember doing that in the past. And we want to build community among our customers because we're not Blackbaud, we're not Salesforce, we don't have 100,000 customers. It's growing at a brisk pace, but what we find is that folks who are using our system recognize that they're doing something different, and many realize that the longer they use it, the more revenue they generate. Not only, and we're finding now, not only for major gifts and legacy gifts, but also, wow, we've done a lot of data research recently, and we'll look at any of your data if you want it. We'll be happy to do the analysis, but we're finding that people who are engaged with our system are increasing their upgrading amounts of revenue from donors. The upgrade percentages are going up. Retention rates are going up among those supporters, and so on. So anyway, let's get on with this, and we're gonna talk today about a new effort that we're rolling out, and but this is meant to be collaborative. So first, some housekeeping items is that this will, well, it's recording right now, and we will share it with you and anybody who registered but did not attend today. We're going to share it with them as well. You can share it with your staff, your leadership, your board members if you feel the need to and want to. We do ask that, don't send it to anybody that you think is a competitor, if you don't mind. I think that's just the nice thing to not do. But most of all, we'd love for you to participate. So I'm going to try and keep my eye on the chat tool and the hand raising, because I would like this to be collaborative and engaging. Raise your hand and such if you want. And I said speak up, but I guess you can't. So maybe next time we'll make it so that it's not a webinar. We're not going to go through like what our whole system does or anything like that, because I think all of you pretty much know how that works. But I do want to place this discussion in the context that what we're rolling out is an additional effort. Those of you may know who are on the SMART system, which is probably most of you, is that the SMART system comes with one additional effort for free, but you can always add more efforts. So you can use this effort that we're going to be talking about. Keep in mind that our efforts sort of, they satisfy supporters' needs in either the why stage of the consideration continuum or the how stage of the continuum. Okay, so there are 7 additional efforts now that we have developed, and there will be more on the way. Our product team is on the call, and they might be able to answer questions and pop in. I see Elizabeth Weiland, who's our director of product, is on. She'll be popping in if I don't know the answers to stuff. So all of this is designed to help you be the fundraiser you always wanted to be. We figured that if you're empowered to do your job at scale and efficiently and cost effectively, then your supporters will be really, really happy, and you'll be really happy, and everything will just work out. So the purpose of this is really to be informational and educational. I think what we're going to do is start asking customers to come on and be the presenters rather than us. At the end, by the way, you're going to get a survey that'll ask you to give us comments on this and feedback, because we want to make this really, these customer roundtables, really powerful. It's all for you. So please let us know, critique us. We will listen. I think you know that about our team. So I think in the future, we'll probably want to try out having customers come on here and tell their stories and help build community and share and collaborate with others like you. So although we are presenting an additional effort, this is not a hard sell as much as I love selling, but I'm not, I'm going to try and hold back. I'm excited about it, but this isn't meant to be a big sales pitch. I'm hoping that you all will post messages and questions so we can collaborate and really engage. All right, so yeah, like I said, participation really appreciated, but it's not mandatory, and your feedback is welcome. So we're going to start this with a quick poll, and I'm going to pull up the first poll. Is asking, how easy or difficult is it for you to land an appointment with a major or legacy gift donor prospect? How easy do you feel it is to land an appointment? I should have played my Jeopardy music. Maybe I'll whistle it. Nah, I'll give you about, let's give you another like 15 seconds. The votes are rolling in. I am not surprised. All right, so end the poll, share results. Yeah, fairly difficult. I want to meet the, well, no, nobody said extremely easy, so I have nobody to talk to about that. But fairly difficult. Yeah, I would agree. I think things have this is, I agree with this. So I'm going to stop sharing that in just a second. I'm going to take a little screenshot of it. And I'll share those. Oh, okay, stop sharing. Move this down here. I do have one more poll real quick. Let's see here. All right. So compared to 5 years ago, do you feel it's getting easier or becoming more difficult to land appointments with major or legacy gift donor prospects? Getting easier or becoming more difficult? Yeah. Interesting. All right, I'll give you about 5 more seconds. Get a last vote in there if you want. All right, let's share these results. So most of you are saying that it's about the same or it's becoming somewhat more difficult. Okay. Or even becoming much more difficult. Yeah. And the ones who are saying that it's getting much easier, I'd love to hear your secret. If you don't mind throwing them in the chat, you know, in fact, that we're going to get to that in a minute. So I suspected that y'all would say that and it's funny, I keep saying y'all. I tell my friends in Atlanta, like, since I've been going down there to visit my son, I say y'all. I'm from New Jersey. We don't say y'all in New Jersey, but I'm figuring it out. So, all right. Anyway, the why is this happening? And I sense that it's because of friction. People don't pick up their phones anymore. You know, people have spam indicators. Or if they don't want to talk to you, they don't have to talk to you. You know, they don't have to respond to email and such. So the friction from these devices is making it harder for us to reach people and prove the value that we have to serve them, that we can serve them. So I just started it off saying that donors are busy. That's probably one reason, but anybody want to throw into the chat of what other reasons that they believe are why people are harder to get a hold of these days? And I see Steve Cavello, thank you, Jersey in the house, yeah. And he says it's getting easier thanks to technology, thanks Steve, is much smaller, and social media allows us to prospect and steward much easier. So I'd love to talk to you about that individually, but talking about what's causing the friction, oversaturation from other organizations, interesting. Increased anonymity, yep, like people when they make donor advised fund gifts, they can do that anonymously, or they squeeze their advisor in between you and them. Yep. Let's see, they're getting so many charities are asking them for money. Competition is real. Sophistication in the areas of increased competition and sophistication in the areas of other organizations, right? A lot of organizations are doing the same things. People are thinking that your call is a robocall or telemarketing. Yep, I agree. All right. Oh, and you can read these. Thank you. Okay, I guess I don't need to say that. Thank you, Ellen. I'm a good webinar presenter, learning the Roundtable route. Oh, those comments are not. Okay, cool. So then you're glad that I'm reading these. All right, thank you. Yeah. All right, Stacy says self-service tools, development officers no longer needed as much. Interesting. Yeah, and I know what you mean is you're talking about financial tools. Yes, people can give on their own. They can think about giving on their own. I still believe that they would give more and they would really involve themselves more deeply if they were engaged with a gift officer. I'm sure you agree. Jen says, oh, that we can see them if they're posted to panelists. Okay, thanks for that help. So in the chat tool, if you post your chat to both the panelists and the attendees, then everybody can see them. Yep, cool. All right, so I guess we threw out a lot of reasons. I appreciate all these for what's causing the friction. So okay, let's move on, and I'm gonna talk about the door opener. And this was developed in part thanks to this quote from Jerry Panis's old book. It's kind of very old now, called Mega Gifts, which I still think applies today. I think it's a terrific book. And he said getting an appointment is about 85% of the way there of getting the gift. But it's harder to get the appointment than to secure the gift. Except for Michael, I think it was, that said it was easier. So I'm gonna talk to Michael and get his magic sauce. But I agree that it's harder. I also think that some of the friction is internal, by the way, that you're busy, you're charged with doing a lot of things, and that can, taking time away from doing what you really need to do is a problem. Until now, because we developed this door opener effort to help you land more meetings. So the results, we'll start with the end, is that as for instance, a customer that has, I think it was about 8 million in their records in their database, we engaged for quite a while with our system. Well, in fact, first they did some predictive analytics and got it from 8 million to 800,000 people. That's too many. Then they even took the top scores of their predictive model to, I think it was 80,000 people, so 1% of their database. And they then engaged with them using our system. From that, we generated quite a number of leads, as we usually do. And from that, we distilled the list to look at the people that seemed that they would be most likely to accept outreach. So we then sent them the door opener effort, 1,800 of them, and that resulted in 117 meetings before we actually had to shut it off, because they didn't expect that they would get so many meetings requested. Neither did we, to be honest. So we learned from that maybe we should have distilled the list a little bit more or rolled out the effort over time. So, but 117 meetings is a success. It's the interesting part of the failure is that we didn't anticipate so much success. So then another, just a similar organization, I'm not sure if any of these people are on this roundtable, but similar, I don't know if the full database is the same size, but we had a similar engagement level, and then we picked out, again, a similar number to be offered this effort. And this, though, was a more targeted group, and we got 21 meetings at which they all didn't actually happen, but it resulted in 16 qualified completed visits and one major gift closed. In fact, I think there were other major gifts that were closed, but this was the big one, was the $1 million one. So it clearly, especially at the price of our efforts, it made it pretty darn worthwhile. So what we're learning, though, is that quality is more important than quantity. And in fact, as I remember, this effort was specifically mentioned in it that this appointment would be to specifically be talking about giving major gifts of assets, okay? The previous one for the other nature organization was a much broader offer saying, would you like to speak with a fellow nature enthusiast from our organization? Okay, so that's the big difference of why the quality of the ones for Nature Canada is so much greater, so much better. So the way this works is that we send an email and we give the supporters an opportunity to fill out a form. And of course, we're always testing the words, we're always testing the subject lines and trying to improve on that. And we're encouraging them with this offer to take advantage of a VIP level connection, if you will. Now, I'm going to jump out of this and go to a dummy page of this. The way it works is that the page that they click through to will include the name of the supporter, and it can include a picture of you or the gift officer that is the sender. And of course, that person's phone number and their email will be there so that the supporter, if they just want to call you instead of setting up a meeting, or they want to email you, they can do that. Again, the whole idea is to remove friction from the appointment setting or the engagement process. In fact, that's our whole purpose here at MarketSmart. So then we have a very brief kind of questionnaire to make sure that we're listening to their needs. It may be that they want a Zoom meeting, or they want to meet you and such, and they can give you some details. Next, it asks for ways that you, the fundraiser, can provide more value to them. Excuse me. So there's a list, and this is completely customizable for you. And we work with you together, and we'll talk to you about what we're finding is working best. Then we ask them how the supporter, would like you to be prepared for the meeting. Would it be to bring along information about certain programs, or giving opportunities, tax benefits, things like that? And finally, the form for them to fill out and find a time to meet. And then it goes to a calendar. You can select the date or time, and away we go. And then it ends up putting it on their calendar, your calendar as well. And also you get an email communication letting you know that it has been set. So that is the door effort. And I see some, let's see, was that an outright or legacy commitment? I don't know. Maybe Elizabeth might know. I don't remember. Hi, Elizabeth. I knew you'd show up.
Hi. I was just hiding until now. Hi, everyone. My name is Elizabeth. If I haven't met you yet, I am the Director of Product here at MarketSmart. Thanks for joining us. I'm actually not sure if that was a legacy or $1 million gift, so I will touch base with the Customer Success Manager, and Karen, we can get back to you on that.
Super. All right. So I guess my a big question is, what do you think? Do you think this will help you get more meetings? Yeah. Gosh, I wish I could just talk to people. We're going to have to do it that way next time. Or what questions do you have with regard to this?
And while we're waiting for some questions, Greg, there were a few that came through on the dashboard chat that I can go ahead and answer.
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And just so everyone knows, myself and my colleague Melanie, who's also on this call, are the people answering the dashboard chat. So anytime you have a question, in the bottom right-hand corner of the dashboard, you can just type away and one of us will respond pretty promptly. So that's where these are coming from. We have one that says it's about Calendly, because this is integrated with Calendly. And what if we can't agree to the Calendly terms or using Calendly? And if that's not an option with your organization to use Calendly, we do have a site available without Calendly. The only downside of that is it adds a little bit more friction for you and the donor to have to do the back and forth between you all making a meeting and figure out a day and time that works, but we do have that available as well. And one of the other ones was doing this for different gift officers. And that was actually something that we had thought about when we were developing this, is the need for doing this with different gift officers. So we recognize it's not just one of you. There's usually multiple, so that is available as well. And the landing page, the email, everything can come through from Greg or from myself or whoever the gift officer is, with a link to that gift officer's calendar as well. So it's, just you and the supporter, and that is available for an additional price. And that was it for the dashboard chat. I see some coming through on Zoom.
Yeah, so there's some nice comments coming in through Zoom. Not really questions yet. I believe, let me just review real quickly. I like Brian. Yes, it definitely won't hurt. No, I don't think that this effort will hurt. And we'd love to try it out with your team. I know you have so many leads that yes, it would be beneficial. So it looks like things are hot in Atlanta. Thank you, Brian. I use some of these questions when you respond to members' survey questions. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm glad you do that, Alyssa. Haven't gotten anyone to use Calendly. Okay. Let's see, Doug, still working with legacy donors, some of which don't do much electronically. True. Yeah, some of the oldest in your file are not going to respond to this. However, it's interesting and sad, but that generation is kind of passing away. And we do find that COVID has forced even the ones that don't want to engage online. COVID had forced the oldest to go online. So had several indicated, Ellen says, I've had several indicated survey that they would consider talking to a gift officer, but then they don't respond when they get contacted. Yep, we understand. I will tell you that we have a webinar and an e-report on my best practices and frankly, what our staff do to land appointments with fundraisers. And it does work with fundraisers for donors. It's 10 tips on how to land meetings. It's a little counterintuitive and I won't go into it too deep right now, but if you want that, please reach out to us and we'll send you the webinar recording and or the e-report on that. Let's see. So is there anything where I can unmute anyone or everyone? No, I don't think I can unmute everyone, but let's see.
I don't think we have that option, but there are a few other comments coming in to the
okay.
So Laura said, this is tremendous, and anything that makes it simple for donors to set a meeting, virtual or otherwise, is great. We have several development officers who travel around the country, but we need a lot of lead time for trips and at least 4 such meetings in a given area to make such trips financially rewarding.
Excellent. Well, Laura, and hopefully, and if you need help with this, you know how to use the mapping feature and the sorting filter in the dashboard to find qualified donor prospects, even down to the city. So if you don't know how to do that, please reach out to us either through the dashboard or any other way through customer success. And we'll show you how to plan your meetings really effectively using the dashboard, our dashboard. So could we share the donor selection criteria used by the nonprofits in the one for the 117 meetings? Let's see if I can go by memory. Do you remember that, Elizabeth, how National Wildlife Federation? I think what they did was they really picked like almost half of their survey respondents, and it was mostly just people who were not too young and showed any level of engagement. So it was pretty wide, and that's probably why we got so many meetings. But I think also the reason was because the way we positioned it was not so, it wasn't worded well for qualification. Because of course the fundraisers want to talk about giving, and the donors wanted to talk to someone enthusiastically about nature. So that wasn't really a good idea. I think it was a big mistake on our part, and we should have seen it ahead. But if you ask for a very wide open kind of discussion, you're going to get a wide open number of people who are interested. But if you ask for a meeting about something more narrow, especially giving, then like in the second example, you're going to get way fewer leads and appointments, but they will be uber hyper qualified. So I'm sorry, I hope that helps, Laura.
A really good question too, because, and that's something that we talked about internally is, this isn't an effort for quantity. We don't, I think if someone put 117 meetings on my calendar, I'd be a little stressed out. So it's really about the quantity. So narrowing down the list as much as you can based on your top major gift donors, legacy donors, and prospects. So the people who have already raised their hand, they've already indicated why they care about your mission, and their legacy consideration, maybe some major gift considerations in our surveys, or maybe directly to you, so that you're sending this to a very small segmented list of people, and be very intentional about who you want to get these meetings with.
Excellent. Now, Trisha, my marketing helper, if you could find the link to the more meetings page, not the one that's used for advertising, and just post it for the e-report in the chat link would be great, so that we don't have to, people can get that e-report about how to land meetings. Also, Stephen says he'll take 117 meetings. I got to talk to you, Stephen. We got to have a talk. What kind of coffee do you drink? So, all right. Well, I think that, we're kind of running down on the number of questions, and we're at the 30-minute mark. But if y'all have more questions or thoughts, there will be a, some of you know Stephen, that's funny. Okay, cool. So he drinks good coffee. All right, I'm gonna have to get back up to New Jersey and figure this out. So please take the survey after you leave here, and please let us know how this is working for you. It's all about you. I'm trying, we're trying. We want to make you happy, educate you, inform you. Yeah. So thank you. And look, I answer my own phone. I run the complaint department. So if you want to chat with me, just reach out. And that's it for today. Thank you for saving me, Elizabeth. It's great having you. Thank you, everybody.